Let's go.
Although they've lost Gyökeres and Hamer, two of their best players, Coventry have spent over £25 million in transfers. 16 of that on two strikers, £7 million on Ellis Sims and £9 million on US international striker Haji Wright. Matthew Godden has been on fire, so he kept his place, and it was Ellis Sims who started against us today. Coventry have had a reasonable start to the season, having narrowly lost to probable champions Leicester. Is it too early to call that? They've scored in all 4 of their games this season and have a formidable home record, losing at home only twice since the end of December. So this fixture was not going to be easy. For Mowbray's part, he chose to play Dack and Job in the positions they finished the Rotherham game in, where they were much more effective. Job effectively was charged with leading the line, and Dack floated in and around behind him. On the right wing, Abdullah Bar replaced the injured Patrick Roberts. Having dominated possession in all 3 league games so far, it would be interesting to see how we did today against arguably our toughest opponents so far.
And off we go.
Coventry's build-up is slow, with 3 defenders at the back and no keeper participating like us, so they found it difficult to create an overload in midfield. Mowbray's answer to this, then, was simply to sit deep in defence and flood men in front of the ball, making it hard for Coventry to progress. And what we got was a kind of stalemate.
Michael's ball down the line is blocked by Clark.
With Coventry often restricted to long shots or turning back downfield from wingers when nothing was open.
Looking to find a way beyond Trey Hume here. He's got support from Sheaf.
That said, Jay De Silva did get the measure of us at times.
Ball around the back for De Silva, standing up the cross, it's a beauty. The whistle's gone in there for a push, I think.
But largely we defended well, and the through balls to Sims and Godden, few as they were, seemed manageable.
Matty Godden, what a terrific goal-scoring run he's on. He's netted in each of his last 3 matches as Ellis Sims tangles there with Trey Hume.
Kasey Palmer was easily their most dangerous player.
For a foul on Pierre Ekwa. He was very late.
Often threading balls through on the turn.
Palmer, lovely take, and Godden was the target.
And he proved crucial to their hopes as balls flowed through him on the counter. These were 2 similar sides playing similar football and largely cancelling each other out.
Great vision from Kasey Palmer.
Coventry had a pair of strikers, but on the counter, those strikers could run the channels.
Those pockets of space and picking out the passes as well with ease. It's Ellis Sims. Patterson with the save.
Kasey Palmer was the difference. And overall, in the first half, I think Coventry looked the better side.
It was that man, Kasey Palmer, who played a pivotal role in the chance. Lovely ball. And Sims denied by Patterson. Had time to pick his spot, but Patterson had that near post covered.
For ourselves, we lacked pace about our play. Look at this, we seem content to stroll the ball around and struggle for runners to break the line and stretch defence. This whole sequence of play is nearly 2 minutes long, and I've had to speed it up, otherwise you'd get bored, but we just don't really go anywhere. There's no pace, there's no efforts to break the line, there's no urgency. You could call it patient play if you like, but the bottom line is nothing is happening here, and we don't look like getting anywhere either. And this happened a lot in the first half.
Clark. Oh, 9. Ekwa sliding in with Sheaf. A meaty challenge, that one. Well, Coventry managing to hold Sunderland at bay. You can see why Tony Mowbray is so keen to add to his forward line.
Will we ever get an experienced striker in?
And there goes the half-time.
At half-time then the scores were level and neither side really looked like breaking the deadlock.
Well, they don't have a goal to show for it, but that man then...
In the second half we finally started to show some more urgency as the MCC finally got going down the left with Messrs Clark and Sirkin.
Aqua to Clark. Sunderland trying to make the extra man count at the moment. Clark driving for the line and lashing it across.
There was also some more willingness to rotate formations in an effort to pull Coventry defenders out of position and create space. Look at the rotations here of Dack, Sirkin and Clark. The move begins with two Coventry defenders marking out the nominal winger, Sirkin, to begin with, and the rotations drag defenders away to create space for Clark in a one-on-one.
Sirkin, gathered by Dack. Clark.
Although he doesn't get the cross in on this occasion, it's very well worked. And Dan Neil started driving play forward along with Bradley Dack. Altogether, it was better today, and Dack himself was much improved. His passing stats went from being the worst in the team last week to being the best today, and corners were more consistently threatening now that they have him delivering them. And I can see when, if we get a striker, that Tony might still see assets in Dack to continue to play him. I'm sure in a week when the transfer window shuts, we'll have a much better idea of where we are. The improved play and pressure in the second half from Sunderland eventually told, and on the hour mark we broke. A lovely ball from Trey Hume sent Abdullah Barr away on the counter, with Joe Bellingham tearing into a world of space in the middle of the park with no one around him. All it needed was a first-time pass from Barr.
Well, what an opening that was for Sunderland.
But he cocked it up. Barr, on the whole, was a bit poor today. He had several chances with the ball wide, but either lost the ball or didn't deliver a good enough one.
He has a look there. He's aware that Bellingham's in the middle, but made it easy, really, for Latibodia.
Look at the disappointment here on the faces of Clark and Bellingham as Barr blazes a frankly low-chance shot over instead of crossing the ball to them in the box. He was marginally our weakest passer of the ball today, 10% lower than the average of the rest of the outfield players. One player who was outstanding today, though, was Dan Neil, constantly driving the ball forwards with great runs, bursting into the box late. He held the ball well all afternoon and released several incisive passes, as well as striking the ball goalward at times. A striker looking to break the lines is going to suit him very well. And as the chances kept coming, it was Dan Neil who came closest to scoring, as he burst onto the ball into the box and appeared to be fouled.
Finds Dan Neil, who tries to make a burst into the box. He goes down, and the Coventry players tell him to get back up.
There were claims for a penalty, and I thought so at the time, but looking back here, there just isn't enough in it. He runs between the players and looks to fall. It's tight, but it wasn't given.
It's a forest of legs. Not convinced myself.
Barr lost the ball one last time after this, and Tony had seen enough.
Finds Barr. Abdullah Barr strikes it straight at Sheaf. That pass has been sold short.
On came a triple substitution. Pritchard, Huggins and Hamir came on for Barr, Dack and Ekwa.
On the young Portuguese striker, Luis Hamir. It's going to be a triple change.
But within minutes, a fizzing Pritchard was sold short by a walking Jack Clark. It's outrageous behaviour. I mean, I've got to assume he's knackered here, because otherwise the answer is he just can't be bothered. Normally he's got a terrific engine and is up and down the park all day. Whatever the answer is here is surely a cause of some concern to see this. So Pritchard on his own showed some skill to create a chance moments later.
Pritchard. Oh, brilliant from Pritchard. He fooled a pair of them there.
But the ball is lost and Coventry attack again on the counter.
Now it's Gordon.
With Haji Wright free for a great shot on goal, forcing an excellent save from Pato.
Through Haji Wright! Big save from Patterson.
That's the chance of the game. Patterson has kept us in it.
That is a huge stop from Sunderland's goalkeeper. Well, he looked odds on to score, didn't he, Haji Wright? Lovely ball through from Ayari. Patterson with a big Sunderland save.
The lads pressed as the final whistle closed in. There were corners and well-worked openings.
Great skills from Clark. It's opened up for him a little here. Now he's found Pritchard. On it goes to Dan Neil. 3 in red and white in the middle. McFadzean gets a leg on the ball. It's another corner. Neil. 3 minutes of the 90 to go. Still 0-0. Clark making a burst for the line. Oh, and McFadzean got the last touch on it. Now it suddenly opens up for Sunderland. 3-on-3 for now. Clark.
The best of which fell to Bellingham, and the deflection could have gone anywhere.
Pritchard. He was looking for Dan Neil. Poor clearance. Bellingham. And McFadzean throws himself behind it. Final minute of the 90. Heroic defending from McFadzean, which we've seen so many times before.
And the last opening fell to Hamir with a ball played into feet by Dan Neil. His first touch, though, was slow and lazy.
Huggins. Still Huggins goes. Hamir. Comes back to Dan Neil. Oh, that's a lazy touch from Hamir. Really was. This stage of the game, he had to make that stick.
Hamir does poorly here, there's no two ways about it. And he just seems to lack urgency on the pitch, and in a striking sense seems bereft of confidence at the minute. As the full-time whistle went, he appeared downcast. Although this seems like a disappointing result for us, on reflection, this is a clean sheet against one of the better blessed attacking sides in the division. We have key players missing. And Coventry's best player today was their centre-half, who had to play out of his skin to keep us at bay sometimes. So perhaps this should go down as a solid point against a good side. My worry is that given the strength of the entire division this year, I reckon only one of these teams will make the playoffs. And I'm still not sure where we are at the minute. Next up, Southampton. That will be a true defensive test. See you next time. Give me a thumbs up, I guess, if you liked it. Share, subscribe if you liked it a lot. And you'll get a notification when the next one of these reviews comes out. Thanks a lot.